Alright, so I've got a homemade bandsaw sharpener. I have a Frontier, cuts 21 inch or so. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a green mark here. I've marked the blade so I know where I'm going to start and where I'm going to finish. I've made this track out of a 16 gauge stud because I had a 90 right here, deep that vertices for the 90. I cut slots, have a bunch of booger welds, holding that together to create an arc. And I've been using this for a while. I want to share something that doesn't work, so here we go. This particular saw blade is, the teeth are set. It's not anything but dull. If you needed to set the teeth, you'd have to get a tooth set tool like this, and this, you turn a knob, kind of like a self-learning, you got to learn it yourself type device. Whatever, you set it on a tooth that you know is good, and then when you squeeze this handle, it pushes out a little spot that pushes the tooth to the proper spot on this mandrel. So you'd go around the blade this way, set all the ones that are left, and then set all the ones that are right. If you had to recenter the center tooth, you could do that with this tool as well. I don't know what, it's a Clip 77. There's multiple types. I don't know how much it cost. I worked out a deal with the guy I was cutting some trees for because he had a bunch of nails in his stuff, and he's just an old man, so he said, "What I owe you for blades?" I said, "Buy me that, tooth setter." And he did. And it showed up in the mail. So I've got, all my teeth are set. And what I've got to do for this to work is this blade is sitting in this channel, and then this Harbor Freight $35 chainsaw sharpener, I have cut this portion of it to it, a chainsaw. I don't remember if this thing was going like that or like this, but I cut this, made it flat to where it's sitting 90 degrees on parallel or perpendicular to the run of the blade, if you will. I don't know the terms. I'm just a dummy in a spot showing you something I made that works. So you would take the blade and pull the sharpener down to it, and then with your left hand slide the blade over to it. And what I do is I see a little bit of black come around the tooth, and then manually with my left hand slide the blade over, go to the next one. We've got a tooth per inch, or a tooth per 3/4 of an inch, and all you're worried about is making that very tip 90 to that, and it's going to be sharp. And this saw blade sharpener is very low torque, so you can torque it out by just pressing too much. And you can see that blade get hot right there. That tooth gets very hot. Let's see if I can zoom in on it for you guys. So while it's happening, you can see what I see. With my left hand, I move it over now. I drop the blade with my right and move the blade over with my left hand. And when I pull off, I torque the bed down a little bit to get that tooth off the blade. Let's see if you can see it. I come into it, torque away, and lift up. I don't even deburr these blades. It works just fine. I took a piece of metal I had, the metal I ended up having for the frame on this rig that I'm making, or that I made, is happened to be unistrut, and you can see back here I have a roller that I welded like a roller with a groove in the center, so that it would roll the blade as I rolled it. I saw a rig online. I looked for wood mill blade sharpeners, and the option I saw was maybe like $850, and it was similar to this frame that I have. And so I tried to emulate it with this thing, thinking that mattered. But being is that the blade's not uniform as far as sequentially now, after I've sharpened this blade many times already. Maybe I can guarantee it's no longer 3/4 of an inch spacing between each tooth. And I've got some blades that what I'll do, I'll show you what I do on some blades, and it doesn't matter if you mess up one tooth, or if one tooth has a little bit spalled over edge. Some blades, when they get real bad, or real small teeth, I'll lay this down and I'll mill that over like this, and create a whole new profile on that gullet. And I've got several blades that are shaped like that, rather than that smooth gullet that comes on those expensive the discs for those machines that cut that gullet completely to sharpen it. The disc is $250 when I saw it. I think there might have been a Chinese knockoff, but I wouldn't trust it, man. There's a Marvin Freight Special Chicago Electric and buy Chinese red jet and shit tools, even though everything made in the same place. Different grade there, I suppose. But yeah, you can hear how slow this sharpener is. I'm not even wearing glasses. It's throwing all the sparks away from me. I don't have the guard on the right side of it because this the blade on this sharpener will gum up. And I turn it over, and I've got a piece of rubber that my dad passed to me, and you can clean the thing with a piece of rubber. It's not working so good. So this is how fast it can be at sharpening. I haven't been going the whole time because I've been talking to you. I don't know how far. We can look for the green spot. I'll tell you, I'm almost halfway. Here's a 144-inch blade. I haven't bought a blade in a year and a half, probably. Last time I bought a blade, I think I spent $21 a piece on them. See that tooth? It's just going to slowly get there one day. And what you do is you try to keep yourself sharp until you break it. And you can get a lot more cuts out of it if you keep it somewhat sharp like this. But I don't know. In my mind, I've priced in this area. I'd have to drive an hour and a half to find a guy that sharpens blades. So either I'm saving $21 a piece every time I sharpen it, or I've heard online that people pay $16 a blade to get them sharpened. So let's do that. A little better at it. But I don't know how much they even charge at the place around here. I'm in North Carolina. Even Wood-Mizer is a little ways away from me, maybe 3 hours away to go to a Wood-Mizer place. Yeah. I ain't trying to go nowhere. I'll stay right here with these chickens and this sawmill. I like to get her done myself. We'll see how long it takes me. I've never timed it. With that green mark on there, you can walk away from it. You come right back and sharpen some more. It's getting sunny. We've got an umbrella on top of this. Not bad. You got it. Tell you I'm 2/3 maybe. Maybe even counting. You can tell me how far I am. This rig I've made, I tried to make a crank to get it to move without having to put my hand on the blade to move it. And I'll show you how my hand is, my other hand. It's moving the blade. There. It's just pushing over, and then every now and then I'll have to reposition to another tooth with my left hand. I maybe have sharpened 100 of these blades like this now, or a blade 100 times. Don't take much. And again, if you've bent a tooth on, say, a piece of metal, or maybe you didn't have your saw adjusted properly and it spit a blade out and jacked some teeth up, just straighten your teeth before you sharpen them. Just do a better job. Or if your blade's walking somewhere, it means you got bent teeth, you know, if it's going up or down or making bellies. Not sharp enough. Alright, let's see. I've got maybe 20 more teeth. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, there we go, 23. Yeah, I'll go mount it, and we'll come back 11 minutes or so to sharpen a blade. That's pretty good. Alright, we're at this saw. I like to pinch them together here, knock some of the sawdust off. I don't know if you've got this Frontier OS 27, but it was building big piles right here under this brush, so I cut a hole out right here, and it's better to have it drop in here for me than to have to clean the machine out. I was going to relabel it Quagmaster 2000, because I had a woodland mill one time, a green one. I don't know what size it was, but when I ordered this, woodland mill was 22 weeks out. Frontier mill was, I think they're 4 weeks out, so it was worth it to keep going with my wife and do what I wanted, you know. Alright, got it mounted. Tighten this up. Make sure your saw stays on. Bring your blade here. Be careful rotating it. It could flip off on you. Cut this shit out of you. Alright. It's pretty tight. It's ready to go. I want to take this belt. The belt could be tightened. Let me get some tools. We'll be right back. Alright, now we tighten. I've loosened this nut. Alright. Got the old knuckle buster out. You didn't know he's going to get to watch a full-length video of the guy tighten a belt too. Sharpen, tighten, check your machine out before you get going. It's severely loose. It was chattering a bit on the last time when I was using it. Getting tighter. Tighter report. There it goes. Yep, just getting there now. Alright. Tighten this one up. You see what's going on? There's another nut now. Get that pretty tight. All right. Button her up. Oh, buttoned up. All right. I'll move you, and then we'll get to cutting this. Get a measurement for you too. We got to roll it. We, sure, is you and me. All right. This log is not small. Now I've modified this pinch system on this. I've got a little bit of a bow on this log. Alright, I've got it to where I can cut 1 inch with this saw. Before, as small as I wanted to get was 2 inch thick. The way that they had it set up factory. Frontier, and that's trash. Woodland Mill had a foot system that worked way better. Alright, I'm going to start this dog up. Got water on a trigger. It's the lubricant and cooling down system of the blade. You're going to get hot. Here we go. watch what I do with these. Okay, I'm just gonna, what do I got here? I got one more log to mill. Got a stack of planks. I'll just wait to show you what I do with the planks on the next video. If anybody's interested, let me know in the comments below.